Missoula County Elections Administrator Bradley Seaman says the governor's directive provides a clear path to run a safe and healthy election with enough time to plan for an election that's now just 89 days away. Missoula held its first all-mail-in June primary that saw a record voter turnout, 10% higher than last election. Seaman says they're taking the success of the primary into the general election by increasing voter services with extended hours and availability for people to register to vote. There will be in-person voting available starting October 2nd, with the ballots mailed out October 9th. Seaman also addressed concerns about election fraud and security.
Manage every ballot through a statewide voter database so that no voter can have two active ballots on their profile at the same time. And then we work very closely and reach out to voters in the quickest method possible to let them know if there is a discrepancy, if they forgot to sign their ballot or a signature doesn't match. And that was one of the other areas we saw in the primary. We're really going to work hard to reach out to our normal polling place voters to make sure they're familiar with how to be successful as a mail ballot voter.
70% of Missoula voters are already signed up for vote by mail, and just like the primary, you won't need a stamp. Postage will already be paid for. Flathead County has not decided whether they will go to an all-mail-in ballot for the upcoming elections. Monica Eisenheimer says, Eisenzimmer says, while the county is considering that, they haven't made a final decision. She acknowledges they will have to decide soon. She suggests if you're concerned about standing in line during the election due to coronavirus, to register right now for an absentee ballot. Eisenzimmer says the county is struggling to find election judges because of the virus. Many of the judges are over 60 and in the vulnerable populations. She says if you're interested, please call the Flathead County Elections Office. We're still waiting to see if the some additional test results before the end of the day will change, but the first batch of results from last month's snapshot testing for COVID-19 in Ravalli County carries some good news. Ravalli County Health Department conducted nearly 900 tests in mid-July in the first community screening for positive COVID-19 cases in the Bitterroot since the pandemic started. The idea was to give health officials a broader snapshot of the community spread of COVID in the valley and how that also fit in with additional test results from across Montana. In the first batch of results to be reported with over 400 tests, the health department says there were no positive cases of COVID-19. However, the county had received additional test results today, and we're waiting to see what those numbers are to see if the trend will be consistent. The county has said it will mail test results to everyone who took the screening, and if there are positive tests, those people would be called by the health department.
An economic update this afternoon involving state leaders shows Montana's been hit hard by a lack of consumer spending in this pandemic. The Montana Chamber of Commerce held a meeting with University of Montana's Bureau of Business and Economic Research Director Patrick Barkey, who gave an assessment of Montana's economic forecast. Barkey says economic declines were huge in April, with healthcare, recreation, and the service industry seeing a significant impact. Since April, Barkey says the state has seen a bounce back in jobs and consumer spending. He adds Montana businesses with links to riskier activities will have more challenges ahead.
So those are things that people don't have to do or they don't want to do because they don't want to be on a plane, they don't want to be in an arena, etc. So if that's part of your business, and there are a lot of those kind of businesses there at the University of Montana, I would argue I work for one of those, we have more challenges ahead than other kinds of businesses like construction.